Come on in, come on in. It's your girl Malaysia. I'm back with another video. And it's Sunday, May 18th. We have the new Uranus realm of manifestation opening up. Yes, come on in, come on in. I see y'all coming in. But yeah, so it's Sunday, and this video is to talk about some more of the Diddy trial. As y'all know, the Diddy trial has been going on for a week now. So, we're going to just get into some things this time about what happened in the past week, because we have another full week coming up. We have Dawn Richards. She's getting on the stand. We have, I think they said Kathy's mom is going to get on the stand. I did hear Audrey O'Day is not getting on the stand. But like I said, we here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Make sure y'all click that like button. Come on in, come on in. We just get started. Come on in, come on in. I see y'all coming in. While y'all here, make sure y'all click that like and subscribe button, because it helps the algorithm, helps me get pushed to the algorithm. And also, you are also knocking on the digital door when you send notifications to someone else. Yes, please, if you guys are over there on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, make sure y'all come over here to YouTube so that you can get the notification anytime I go live, and y'all will not miss a show. And yeah, so let's get started. But I'm not gonna get directly into the case. We're gonna back it up a little bit. Do y'all remember when Albie Shore came out and said that Diddy was linked to Kim Porter's death and his own health collapse? Now, I know y'all remember not too long ago, Albie Shore, he was hospitalized, and it was pretty bad. They were thinking that he wasn't going to make it out. But he did. Through the grace of God, he came on out. And, he's still here. He's healthy. He's alive. But now that the Diddy trial is going on, everybody is coming out and speaking their piece. Everybody's coming out and saying what they want to say about the whole situation. So we're going to read and we're going to watch what Albie Shore said, and then we'll move on to, more stuff about the case and stuff like that to catch y'all up to date if y'all don't know what's going on. So let me go ahead and click on them. So here it says, Albie Shore is speaking out about Diddy's alleged role in his health collapse and the death of Kim Porter. Now, this report comes from the Jasmine brand. If y'all know Jasmine brand, this is another blog. Y'all can go check her out. They are on Instagram. Make sure y'all go follow and check them out, because we are here to support everybody. But this is who reported on this article. And it says, while promoting his memoir, Do You Believe Me Now? On Fox 5 New York, he said, the late Kim Porter, who kind of warned me all along the way. When asked if she died of pneumonia, he replied, absolutely not. He added she was in the best of health. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special. They're talking about Quincy. On Diddy, causing his own coma, he said, to have multi-organ failure. I believe this is the case. Yes, absolutely. So let's see what he has to say.
Hustle, there's no marketing, I'm living my truth, and it's time.
So you were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, and all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah, right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, what happened to you?
Yeah,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes,
what that,
I want to get into
what that process is. But so it's been quite a journey, and as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking? Really? What's wrong with you? No way. Not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying,
posting. Yeah. I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
But this is about Diddy, so let's be clear for everybody that doesn't know.
Diddy, who's about to, his trial's about to start. Yeah, yes. They're selecting a jury.
But you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago. I posted some information Um, that
Wait a minute, what's going on? Hold on, okay, so we got technical gifts.
trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter Lake, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing.
So the video is breaking
Our
up.
son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time, and so it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it'd be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participate in so and so, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
But you are in the book.
Yeah, right. But this, I will speak about where our paths cross and what's most relevant, and something I've been trying to say for many, many years. And unfortunately, Roseanne, even with Sean being incarcerated, that's not a celebration. There's no celebration in it. And in many, many ways, many people's lives are affected. And in fact, a genre of music that I grew up in is ruined right now.
You're blaming Diddy for that?
I'm blaming this entire industry and the way it's gone. And, there's no one person that's in charge, but this level and this magnitude of a story of detriment, of diabolical, just heinous, whatever's really going on. It's unfortunate.
Is Diddy suing you or threatening to sue you?
No.
No?
I have the truth.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I am. And again, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the only reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then, Tim, did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Well, we it's enough to hear him. So basically, what I got from all of that was Albie Shore feel like Diddy had something to do with him, following, ill or whatever the case may be. He also was snitching, but then it seemed like he was snitching, but he was saying this to the police and whatever the case may be. But then he's saying, well, what is it that you know? And he's like, well, we'll see. It'll all come in time. I'm not trying to get into like which one is it. But anyways, it seems like with this whole case and everything that's going on, obviously we have, and everybody wants to be heard. This is a high profile case, but as of right now, it just seems like everybody is trying to jump on the bandwagon and try to get, some type of, I'm not gonna say fame, but or clout, but it just seems like everybody is trying to get in the bag of what's going on with this Diddy case. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on to some of the headlines from this week. Hold on. Let me find out they don't want us getting this information out. Y'all better like we back. It seems like we back online. Hold on. Y'all, it seems like they do not want us talking about this because that was crazy. Hold on. I still see more of y'all coming in. Hold on, hold on. I think we're back online. I think we are back online. Let me know. Somebody in the chat, let me know. I think we're back online. I think we are back online. Let me know. Somebody. It seems like they're not trying to let us get this information out. That's crazy. Anyways, we still gonna put on our shit. So let me go ahead and get my screen together. Hold on. Let me get back to the seat. Because they don't want us to talk about this story. Obviously. Because we are having technical difficulties. And it's 100 of y'all in the chat. Make sure y'all get turning your notifications on so you can see anytime when I'm going live. And yeah, we're gonna keep on moving on because we're not gonna let that get in the way. So boom. We back. Let me get it together. And hold on. Thank y'all for being patient. They are trying to silence us. Okay. Okay. So hopefully y'all can hear me. And we're gonna keep on moving on. If I persist to have problems with the connection, then I'm just gonna cut the live short and we'll just come back at a later date. I mean, but anyways, Cassie alleges she was raped by Diddy on her living room floor in 2018 while she was dating her now husband, Alex Fine. His eyes were black. I guess she's talking about Diddy. Cassie testified that Diddy allegedly raped her in 2018 while she was seeing her now husband, Alex Fine. But I also heard that Alex Fine used to like for Cassie, or used to allegedly like for Cassie to FaceTime him some of the statements from one of the bloggers, Armand. They, like he said, they already had these things that they were doing. So it's like, what type of relationship y'all had going on, you know? But again, we're gonna see how all this plays out. But anyways, it says August 2018. What happened? Cassie says, we were having a closure conversation at a restaurant in Malibu. He was trying to convince me to go to Burning Man. The attorney said, were you seeing any more? Were you seeing any more? She said, my now husband. He said, what happened next? She said, Sean came to my house and raped me on the living room floor. His eyes were black. It was like taking something from you. The attorney said, you cried? What did Sean do? She said, he continued and finished inside of me. Then he got up and left. Did you ever have sex with him again? She said, yes, voluntarily. We had a good night. I went back to his house. Now, everybody keeps saying this is the case. It just seems like this case is more just toxic and, you know, a toxic relationship that went left. You know, it was on drugs. They was doing the most, when they was coming down on these withdrawals, that's when they would get violent and physical, because y'all know how people, when they're coming down on drugs, are. And Cassie was saying, well, we had been together for 10 years. So, I mean, you know, like someone here in the comments said, it's trauma bond, codependency, mental abuse, emotional abuse, abuse, all will have you return to a bad situation. We see it every day in America. A lot of women, they trauma bond, and, men too. And, they feel like the abuse is something that they're used to, or that, this person really loves them, or whatever the case may be, and they do go back. So, I'm trying to see both sides of it. But at the same time, if I had an abuser, that's just me. I can't relate to the trauma. So, me personally, if I was running from a situation, I would definitely not want to go back to getting beat. But again, that's just me. I'm different. So she also said, hold on. They also said, now this one, y'all do not laugh. Do not laugh at this title. This is the post from Jazz Brain. Hold on, let me put it up. The connection is a myth. You know what? Okay, let's see. It's coming in. Okay, here it is. Now let me go ahead and share. It's a lot of work with this stuff, y'all. But I'm glad y'all bearing with me. Like and subscribe in the meantime. Okay. Here we go. We're trying to get it pulled up for y'all. The connection is so slow. Just give the big mama some. Hold on. Let me know if y'all can see that. Okay. A woman has filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging that he raped her in his Manhattan apartment in July 2021. She claims after a night out at the club, Diddy took her back to his home and into the bedroom. He then allegedly for telling her, "I'm going to suck the life out of you." The woman says Diddy then released her neck and then held her down while pulling out his erect, bare skinned penis, which appeared to be the length and girth of a large Tootsie Roll, per the complaint. Mm. Not the Tootsie Roll. Not the Tootsie Roll. Not the Tootsie. But you know what? I kind of get it. You know, a lot of these men, most of the men who have like small packages, they tend to have this attitude, especially like short men too. You know, short men have the little short man complex. That's very real. So maybe that's why Diddy is so up in arms all the time and so violent and just so and maybe that's another reason why he couldn't please Cassie when they were having these freak offs and he was having her sleep with male escorts and stuff. Then it makes sense. Anyways, it's to change their strategy. Cassie Ventura's day 1 and 2 testimony was chilling, specific, and backed by physical evidence, making her a highly credible witness in the federal case against Sean Diddy Combs. From bruises to blackmail threats, freakouts to financial control, she painted a clear picture of a criminal enterprise designed to coerce, transport, and exploit women under his power. Now, these past couple of days when they've been doing this cross examination and stuff like that, a lot of that hasn't been coming up. Again, to me, it just seems like this is just a bad relationship or sugar daddy and the sugar daddy relationship that just went. Some of the stuff that I heard, like with Cassie being jealous of not Young Miami, but Kim Porter. She was jealous of Gina. Those type of things make you think like, did she do all of this because she was not getting the attention? She basically feels like her career and her life was gone because she was at the hands of Diddy. She seen Carisha come out, and Carisha was pretty much just doing her own thing. She's getting music videos, she's getting flown out. She's having the best time on yachts, popping deli stuff like that. Maybe that got to Cassie, and she was like, "Well, how can someone else come in and all the work and put up with?" And here this girl goes, she coming out the blue and she getting everything that I worked hard for. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. This case, we got a lot of weeks, y'all. We still in the beginning of this case, the beginning stages of this case. So we got a little while to go. And honestly, it's just getting worse and worse as things come up. We did have Dawn Ricketts take the stand this week. And they said she did not have anything to say good about Diddy either. They said looked like she was very angry. She came in telling about, certain things that Diddy did with Cass, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Today put the nail in Diddy's freak off coffin by herself. Diddy Court Bible was no show today. And it said, let's see. Cassie testified that on her 29th birthday, she wanted to celebrate with friends at the Blind Dragon Karaoke Lounge. Diddy insisted on having the freak off and said, although they briefly went to the venue, he repeatedly pulled her aside until she gave in and left with him to comply. She also testified that on her 21st birthday, Combs forced a kiss on her, showing a constant pattern of control tied to meaningful personal events. This supports coercion and psychological manipulation, central to trafficking and RICO elements. Cassie testified to an assault that took place within the first year of them dating. They were in the back of his black Escalade, and he began to assault her. She testified that he was 10 minutes. She got away, and as she tries to run away, The security guard comes and grabs her and tells her to go to the hotel instead. She was able to get away, but Roger his security brought her back, who was employed by Diddy. He snuck her in to the hotel so they wouldn't see her injuries as his assistant, Genevieve, brought her ice cream. She had to stay in the hotel for a week due to the injuries. Cassie said she was in shock after the incident and didn't fully understand what had just happened or why it occurred. Cassie stated that she did not feel that she could leave the hotel due to his access relationship, knowing he had guns. Mm. Cassie testified that during a dinner outing, Diddy was openly flirting with another woman when as they were, he became enraged. Later that night, once they were back in the vehicle, he struck her across the face, an unprovoked act of violence triggered by a minor nonverbal reaction. She was showed a photo from September 2015 where she was recovering after he beat her in Las Vegas after Mayweather fight weekend. That this was after her birthday in August 2015, where she got away and he surprised her and she didn't want to see him. During the trip in Turks, he hung her friend over the balcony trying to be like Suge Knight. Not trying to be like Suge Knight. September 18th, Jamaica, Cassie confirmed she was bruised after being. There was another beating where D-Rock, the security guard, whose house she escaped. Girl, whoever wrote the typos is killing me. Whose house she escaped to one night, and he told her, text her, saying, "It's time to ice our face with more instances of violence beyond what she described." He beat her at an after party in their suite after she spoke with the producer, called her into the room and beat her, kicked her. Out of fear, she tried to hide behind the toilet and only stopped when D-Rock and James Cruz entered the room. She witnessed him being violent towards others, including dragging assistant, punching Eli, and dragging a person in Turks. She was often told, "No, no one will believe you if I made you." Diddy assaulted Cassie after he learned, shown a photo where he blacked her eye because the picture was taken by D-Rock. He witnessed him being violent towards others, including dragging assistant, punching Eli, and dragging a person in Turks. She was often told, "No one will believe you. I made you." We love to say, "I made you," done. Cassie testified that this is a sex slave claim and Diddy Kid Cudi. Cassie testified that despite signing a 9-to-5 album, a 9-10 album deal, Diddy turned her into a sex slave, forcing her into free calls and controlling her through threats and emotional abuse. In 2011, after discovering she was dating Kid Cudi through a burner phone email, Diddy threatened to harm Kid Cudi, and while threatening her, Cassie returned to a trashed hotel room, emailed her mom, and then fled to Boston and Connecticut. Her mom later warned Kid Cudi that Diddy threatened to blow up his car, which eventually happened. When Kid Cudi confronted Diddy at Soho House, Diddy denied involvement. Okay, escort involvement. Cassie testified that she was required to have sex with escorts paid for by Combs during free calls. She recognized photos of 6 escorts taking ketamine made her sexually unresponsive, which Combs disliked because it interfered with her ability to perform. After these events, she experienced UTIs, exhaustion, and oral infections resistant to antibiotics. She told Combs, and he was aware. Recovery included IVs, massages, and meals. IVs, massages, and meals prepared by his chef, showing the organized, recurring nature of these events. She testified that she would have to take days to recover from physical assaults due to bruising and pain. Some of the employees, like assistants, quit after the abuse, like Mia, an assistant, and a security personnel and a driver. Just keep going. Yeah, I know the internet connection messing up from the internet from being recruited from Las Vegas, Miami, Los Angeles, where some will be flown in. One in particular that Diddy wanted was named Punisher because they had to have a big black penis. Cassie testified about an incident where she was working in the studio with a producer and she later shared with Diddy. In response, Diddy called her a slut. Cassie said she reacted emotionally in the insult and in that moment physically assaulted him. The testimony reflects the toxic and volatile nature of their dynamic, rooted in verbal degradation and reactive violence. Cassie testified that February 18, 2018, she had a closure dinner with Diddy and asked her if she was seeing anyone. She said her husband, Sean, like taking something from you. She cried. She wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. He finished inside of me and left. They with his tootsie roll. Sean came to her house and raped her with his eyes. Oh, wait. They had one more encounter and stated they had been together for 10 years. She didn't hate him. He would make unannounced visits, so she would wedge a knife in the door handle to keep him out. He would be so angry so that the knife in the door would help her. They showed her the picture. Maybe she's doing else. Cassie testified that Diddy used doctors who would write prescriptions in either her name or his assistant's name. He kept the pills under the bathroom cabinet and would tell her what to take and when. She said he didn't like when she took medication on her own or without his direction. Showing the had to see doctors for opiate use 5 to 6 times during their relationship because she would take them daily. She was heavily dependent where she went to rehab and sought help. She has been clean since 2022. Cassie stated with his lavish lifestyle, she didn't have a place to stay of her own, and he would kick her off her trips where she would have to stay with the staff at their hotel. She never wanted to have sex with other men, but she only did it to please him, and she let him know often and felt trapped. There was too much abuse to recount every incident. Cassie testified about the emotional toll trying to walk in front of a moving car. She wrote a book to heal and hoping Diddy would read it. She sent chapters to him throughout her lawyer, but was told he didn't take it serious. Her lawyer sent a demand for $30 million for the book where Diddy rejected. They filed the lawsuit where Diddy settled for $20 million in 24 hours. She stated she was here because she had no longer carried the burden and wrong is wrong. So that's why she was testifying. The jury was shown pictures of the freak off, and a woman juror gasped for air and grabbed her chest to the 2 male jurors looked away. She was shown pictures of the freak off, pictures of her bruises from Jamaica, bruises from pictures of male escorts. And that's coming from my girl, the Public Opinion Court. She's a lawyer. And y'all can go check her out. Check her out, Lawyer Bay ESQ. And yeah, y'all should, go check her out. But that's ridiculous. It's just so much going on with this Cashapp at WDG. Now, meanwhile, let's see what she has to say. Hold on, we got this post right here. Diddy's attorneys are
going to be important.
Diddy's attorneys are trying to prove Cassie participated in freak-off parties through loving emails read in court. Okay, now this is where it took a turn. This was day 4. Diddy trial day 4. Attorneys for Diddy are trying to prove Cassie's participation in freak-off parties. Loving emails between them are read in court.
And what defense counsel is picking up on is an email. So when these emails or BlackBerry messages are being discussed, she is addressing them to Puffy or Pop. That was the nickname that she had for him. And she told him that in order for me to be more open, I need to feel like you're my husband, that this is the only man who will have this aggressive sexual side of me. And this is where it gets to be important, because then she says in this email exchange that in the beginning, when we were in love and we did these freak offs, she responded and she said, it felt right. So that's what she says in that email. And defense counsel questioned her about that. And what she was referring to, it was those freak offs. And she said, it felt right. She said, we were in love. And then she said, I'm afraid, though, that I'm becoming just one of your girlfriends in order for you to get your fantasies off. So they are going through all of these communications, Ted, between Sean Combs and Cassie, trying to establish consent, that she was a willing participant, and in fact, sending messages to him, one of which I'm not going to read, talking about the things that she wanted to be doing in these freak-offs.
Interesting.
It's going to.
Now, y'all heard that yourself. So, you know, it's I don't know. It's starting to look real tricky because it's like, girl, were you right? Were you great or what? We have Cindy Jones saying, did the girls know he was dating Cassie same time? He was with their mom, because I believe that's why they left the court. You know what? I don't know. You know, back then, you know, as if the twins knew, I'm sure the boys knew. I mean, you like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, Albie Shore was dating Kim first, and then Diddy ended up with her. And I heard that it was one time Diddy came in and Diddy said something to the nature of, yeah, I wish I had a wife like yours. I wish I had a girl like yours. You know, these men, y'all churches anyway. So, you know, he was already putting his, you know, little back down. And then Cindy Jones also said, let's see. Can someone please tell me what happened to the gun charge? The beginning of the trial. So we still got a couple of weeks left before we get into a couple of things. Like, we still got witnesses that's got to come up. We still got people who have to evidence that has to be seen, I guess. You know, we have other people that needs to be talked to, other people that needs to be cross-examined. It's just that they're getting Cassie out of the way, and if I'm not mistaken, I heard that they were going to be bringing Jen in another part of the case, but they just wanted to go ahead and get her out the way, get to the meat and the potatoes of the situation, and go from there. And like I said, if y'all checking out Armand, go and watch him on YouTube. He was he's like a mentor to me, because I watched him a lot. And, you know, he was actually at the court. He gave a really good, but like he was saying, you know, a lot of the stuff just wasn't making sense, especially like when Cassie came out and the defense was asking her, well, you know, do you have a lawsuit with someone else? And she was like, no, I don't have any lawsuits out. And you know, this was after Cassie was doing all this crying and weeping and stuff like that. And when she got into, you know, the tea about that lawsuit, Cassie was like, no, the tears went away. And it was more so of like, okay, well, you may not have the money, but you did settle with the Intercontinental Hotel, right? Intercontinental Hotel, right? That's the hotel where Diddy had beat on her, and it got caught on camera, where the security guard found him and stuff. Okay, well, I guess, you know, why didn't you let us know that you had a case out? And Cassie whispered and said, oh, it's 10 million. And everybody in the courtroom just went up. Everybody in the courtroom went up, because they like, girl, what? You threw Diddy for 20 million and a hotel for 10 million, and you still up here. But again, like y'all saying, she trauma bond and all this stuff. Y'all saying the victims need to speak my conscience. I probably would say something too. But at the same time, Diddy, he gave this woman 20, she got 10 from a hotel. She can go sit down somewhere and be good. But instead, she's still having to testify. But again, maybe it's because um, since this is a state case now, or her to come to get all her teas. But yeah, it's ridiculous, honey. That Cassie keeps trying to go back from these emails. Cassie was going back. Meanwhile, while Cassie is going, while Cassie is Carisha is out here living her best life. It says Young Miami made it clear she needs her space while dining out. Young Miami says she needs her space when it's time to eat. Who y'all did this to? Would y'all do this if y'all had the money?
Hoes. I shut down the restaurant. That's the difference. Get the motherfucking restaurant. I shut down the restaurant. I don't eat with you bitches. I'm a motherfucking snack. Balenciaga on the
All right, well, she looking good. I mean, Carisha out here living her best life, girl. Baby, the girl Carisha is living her best life. They didn't subpoena her though. Why they didn't subpoena Carisha? What y'all think? Y'all think Carisha should be on the stand? I think she need to. I think Carisha need to be on the stand too. She was at the freak offs and stuff. Why they ain't call her? They probably think she too much. She gonna tell it out for real. So anyway, it says here, Diddy's lawyers play audio of Cassie threatening a man she believed had a freak off video. I will you. So Cassie was talking about offing somebody because it was one of her best friends to say, and they said that Diddy was the one who was threatening to release the video, but it wasn't. Cassie had got a call from one of her friends telling her that he had a video. So it says Cassie was heard making threats in 2014. Audio recording played at D-Court on Friday, May 16th, where Cassie Ventura confronted a man she believed had a sexually explicit video of her. I will off you if you don't show me right now, she said. I will off you and hide you and put you in the effing dirt in the recording. Cassie referred to the man as her brother and added, I've never offed anybody in my life, but I will off you. It's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do. Cassie's explanation, she testified that Diddy told her to keep an eye on the man until he was questioned about the story alleged in court that Diddy taped her during freak offs, drug-fused sex sessions, sometimes with male escorts, and used the footage to control her. Diddy insists the sex was consensual. All right, Diddy said he didn't force nothing. He said that, this was consensual. I mean, but that's what I was saying. Like, girl, I don't know. The kind of relationship they had, it's giving sugar daddy or, it's giving John or Trick with his hoe. And, y'all know how it be. The tricks, they be getting everything they want. They be paying everything. They be tripping out, getting me high, they get drug filled, and they have all this explicit sex, and then they get into it when they start coming down off the shit. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot of ways this can go. But if they're gonna try to get Diddy on like those RICO charges, like you were saying, Cindy Jones, about with the gun and all that stuff, it's like maybe, just maybe, he has they found some stuff, because again, we are in the beginning stages, so they might bring up the evidence of guns. When they had raided his house, they raided both of his houses at the same time, because in a federal case, they don't want to raid one house and then say, oh well, somebody didn't have to call over there and say, hey, we just got hit. And that way, it was no way to hide anything. It was nobody could call nobody. Nobody could escape to go here. Fortunately, Diddy wasn't even there at the house, but he did have the kids there and everybody else. So they had to be traumatized by that. They had to be there for that situation or whatever. So, yeah, this federal case, we don't know. They just talking to Cassie right now. And this is just the first week. So just imagine what the next couple of weeks are going to bring up, because we got a lot of people that's dealing with this case, his workers and people like that. So we don't know. So it might come up. We'll see. We shall see. Let me see. Here go Armand right here. Shout out to Armand. Y'all go check
All
out
of that right here. So I got to make sure I'm there to do the commentary. So I'm oiled up. I'm ready. Okay. Now we're at the party. Okay. So I'm at the party now. Sometimes you have to go pee. And so when you go to the bathroom, you're introduced to 5 bottles of baby oil sitting in the bathtub, inside the bathtub. So now I have to take everything off in here and put a little oil over here now because I'm in the bathroom. So now I got oil all up in here and oil down there. And so now I'm really at the Diddy party. Hell, we're at the Diddy party. We're at the Diddy party. Just take it all off. We're at the Diddy party.
So Armand is funny, but y'all definitely go check out his videos. Anyways, like he was saying, at the Diddy party, they were saying, you coming in a Diddy party, baby. It's baby oil already ready. You got a room with a little camera. They was already watching you taking off the clothes and stuff like that. You undressing. You getting oiled up. Diddy wanted you to be like shining. If you came to the Diddy party, you better be fucking glowing when you come out of that room. You better be fucking glowing when you coming out of there. You need to make sure that you are literally glistening coming out of that room. Because if not, guess what? You got to go back in there and put some more baby oil on, and they're not playing with you. And I heard that, at the Diddy parties, they were having where after the festivities or whatever, he would have a box of money at the door for you to grab their cash. What you did, you get oiled up. You don't even walk into the Diddy party. You slide in them up. When you come to the Diddy party, you slide in them up. You slipping and sliding, and you literally slid into the party because of so much baby oil that you have to put on. It's ridiculous, honey, but the free coffee be free coffee, honey. Okay, so this is what I was telling y'all, that Alex Fine admits that Cassie admits that her now husband, hold on, Alex, while she was having consensual sexual intercourse with Diddy. Cassie Ventura said she had consensual sex with Combs shortly after she said he raped her. The consensual encounter occurred during September, she said, while she was dating her soon-to-be husband, Alex Fine. Ventura said she FaceTimed Fine sometime during that evening. And I'm like, okay, so that's what I say. It's giving his little career off the ground. And Cassie said that I need to go make this bread, and I need to go make this moolah. And Alex, it seemed like Alex already knew what the relationship was. And it's given, Alex knew what was going on. And he was like, well, she got to get that money. So I'm going to let her get that coin. And she went and did what she did. And after she got done, yes, he probably was disgusted or mad about the situation, but that's still his girl. She probably ain't no telling what they be doing because how freaky she she like to freak out. So I ain't telling what she be doing to Alex. I mean, I feel like that's what that was. Or Alex could be a cook. A lot of these white men, they love to watch their wives and other women have sexual intercourse with other men. They just like to be in the room. They just like to watch. They just want to be in the know and in the middle. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's a cook. Maybe he likes to, for her to call him when she's doing all these things or whatever the case may be. Like I said, nobody surprises me anymore. Literally. Nobody surprises me anymore. Because at the end of the day, people are very, very freaky. I've seen some of the, couples especially, they get together and they do so much, clueless. Well, if you said we clueless, we can't be too clueless because again, these are the actual documents. We have actual sources that were in the courts. So at the end of the day, like we can't be clueless. It's right. I wonder if Diddy gonna get on the stand and testify. I wonder if Diddy gonna testify. He should. I mean, he will. I would love to hear what he got to say. But I mean, whatever, Jax. If you say we clueless, then let us be clueless because that's the whole purpose of us figuring out. We only in week one, boo. We only in week one. We only in week one. We did this. Going to be week two now. We just now about to get into week two. So at the end of the day, it's one of them things where okay, so let's move on. But yeah, like I said, this is just the week one. And we are just trying to going off for the information that is given to us. And we're just trying to piece it together. So let us be clueless because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to see what make the dots connect. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to see. It's just stuff not making sense, and we're trying to make sense of it. Okay, and now also, like I said, Don Richards saying they are trying to dismiss her lawsuit. They tried to dismiss it the same day that she testified against him because maybe I guess the lawsuit stated that or maybe they want to come to some type of deal, and maybe they were like going to go ahead and settle with her, and they said as long as you don't testify and Don Richards said maybe I'm going to testify, but it's so crazy because she do not look the same. What happened? My God, whoever doing her makeup need to do it again. But my God, she do about Cassie's case on Friday, May 16th. The mogul filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit and filed by his former Dirty Money group mate and Danity Kane member. Richards testified that Diddy allegedly tried to hit his ex-girlfriend Kathy Ventura in the head with a black skillet, and that she often saw violence by him against her. A day after the alleged incident, it would be better if Don and Diddy didn't talk and that people could end up missing. She interpreted that the message to mean that if she disobeyed, it would be result in death in her September 2024 civil lawsuit. Richard made the same accusations and alleged that Diddy abused her and her, making the band castmates Cassie and Diddy's ex-children / mother Kim Porter. Diddy's legal team previously slammed Richard for seeking a payday, and that they are again reiterating as they filed a motion. I mean, they are, the motion to dismiss her lawsuit on the same day she testified against Diddy. In legal documents filed Friday, May 16th, they argue statute of limitations, improper group pleas, and more. Diddy's legal team rival other women accusing Diddy of abuse. They write, Don seeks to transform narratives of alleged injuries against others into a headline grabbing sex trafficking conspiracy as to her. Yeah, so basically they saying Dawn, her testimony don't even matter. They basically saying we don't care what you got to say. You should have been filed your shit, and since you did not, we don't got nothing to say. And they say, what does this have to do with the case? Even though it has everything to do with the case, welcome. But the judge was like, well, it is going to be welcome because Cassie and Dawn are pretty much that's a part of her case. Dawn is a part of Cassie proving the things that is brought against Diddy, if that makes sense. So pretty much Dawn is going to be on the stand again to testify. Yeah, she said that Cassie was beat with a black skillet and she went into the fetal position. She was supposed to be cooking. The attorney said, who is depicted in this photo? Dawn Richardson said, Cassie. The attorney said in 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? Dawn Richardson said she was attacked by Sean Combs and kicked. The attorney said, did you see more violence by him against Cassie? Richard said, off of him. He said, photo of Diddy, Dirty Money Sean. When were you a member of this group? She said 2009 to 2011. Dawn Richard said, in Sean Combs' LA home, we were recording. He said, what did he do? She said, he was saying, where the F is my food? He grabbed the black skillet with egg and tried to hit her over the head. Cassie dropped to the ground. The attorney said, what did she do? Dawn said she went into fetal position. He said, then what? She said Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and body, then dragged her up to the first floor, glass breaking and yelling. I was scared for her and for me too. She said, did you intervene? She said, no. He said, did you call the police? She said, no. The attorney said, the next day, what happened? Dawn said, and she was okay, that it would be better if we didn't talk, that people could end up missing. The attorney said, how did you understand that? She said, death. Combs' attorney, objection, sidebar. Okay. Former Denver became member Don Richards files lawsuit against Diddy claims of brutally sexual abuse and manipulation. But now the defense is saying we're not going to pay her ass shit, and she might as well go on about her business since she came to court. We told her that we could probably settle this or whatever case may be, but she did not want to do that. And since she can get it how she lives. So I don't know, maybe Dawn should have came earlier, and because now they are already saying that she's not going to get that money. So what they trying to dismiss that case? I mean, it might stick, but we'll see. Cassie says Diddy took her phone, car, and passport because she was seen dancing with Chris Brown. Trial day 5, Cassie is back on the stand detailing Diddy's alleged aggressive. Okay, Combs lawyer. Mr. Combs wrote, fuck Friday. I don't even want to do that again. What did you write? She said, I wrote LOL true. Mr. Combs suspected you of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? We were in the car and he told me to call my mother. When I did, he grabbed my phone and took it. He was just gone. He said, for how long? A few hours until my mother came to call the police. He said, did Combs go through your phone? I think so. And he called someone on it. He said, the person you had an affair with, an NFL player? No. She said, I don't know if he's playing anymore. Said, but he was in the NFL player and he was jealous. Wasn't there a time he found out you? I don't remember. It was Chris Brown. I was not dancing with Chris Brown. He said, look at this. It's from 2013. She said, now I see you. She said, what else did Mr. Combs take? My car, my passport, when he was angry. Let's refresh you about Mr. Combs being in rehab. I vaguely remember. Why did you go to Sedona? I went to Arizona to get away from the drugs. Okay, I'm going to go to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to get the video you heard about. What did you write? And then they were trying to allege that, you know, he had tried to beat her or take her phone or whatever because she was dating Chris Brown. But she said that's not true. She did not date Chris Brown. She did not have an affair with Chris Brown. And so I guess that did not happen. Let's see. We already worried about Mr. Boosie. So yeah, right about now, this is just like I said, we want some time before we are, get into some of these other witnesses. We have not going to be on the stand, and she is not going to be testifying. So it seems like, right now, y'all just got to stay tuned. I'm going to be bringing y'all more and more tea from the case. Like I said, the best person for me who I've been keeping up with the tea is Armand. Great commentary on he was actually there. But if y'all don't want to, I'm gonna make sure I catch all the good tea and from a lot of the credible sources that we have online, and I'll make sure to bring all that tea to y'all so y'all can stay today. And make sure y'all come over to my YouTube channel so y'all can like and subscribe. And subscribe my channel so that way you guys can know when I'm doing this again. Because we're probably gonna be doing another one on Wednesday and then another one Friday for sure after the week is out. But I want y'all to have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being here. And I hope that the next time y'all come, y'all stay for the long time again. All right, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all. I guess Wednesday safe out there. And if we don't condone abuse. If you're in an abusive relationship or something's going on,